YouTube family, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on? Back at you again, Simper BK reactions with another one. And I'm gonna make this a thing. I did it in, I think, like the other two videos. I'm not doing nothing until you hit the like button. That's my new thing. I ain't doing nothing until you hit the like button. So when you hit the like button, then we can continue. This is gonna be a short one, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't hit the like button, I ain't doing nothing. If you don't hit the like button, I'm not doing nothing. Big up me Jamaican them. See? Big up me Jamaican them. But what's good though, on a serious note? What's good? Back at it again. Listen, yo, I know you see it, right? Yo, go get fly, man. Go get fly like me. SimperBKClothing.com. What a website? Somewhere right here, right? Go get fly like me, man. I know you see it. I love this one, right? And a few people have told me they like this. This one is basically, you know what I'm saying? No emotion. Let's get in motion, right? Get some things in motion, no emotion. All right, look. Like I tell you on this channel here, right? My reactions, these are my opinions. And my opinions are based off of my knowledge, my extensive knowledge, extensive training, and my extensive experience, right, in this field. And again, it's coming from a genuine place, right? Because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in Brooklyn and Queens, right? In the 80s and 90s. So police brutality, I seen it, right? Physical police brutality, I never had to, thank God, I never was the victim of that. But stop and frisk in the 90s, 100%. Even when I was a teenager under Giuliani, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Imagine how I was growing up feeling about law enforcement at that time, then the transition to I'm getting into law enforcement and I'm understanding, you know, the complexity of the job. And now I'm learning, you know, about use of force, landmark use of force cases, right? I'm learning about a variety of things. So let's get into this video right here. I don't want to make this one too long. I made another video, right? I think I made a video regarding Terry stops, right? Terry versus Ohio. Essentially, police officer tells you to stop. That essentially means you're detained. You need to stop. You even questioning why they're stopping you, right? You are technically obstructing their investigation. All right, so keep that in mind. This video here, I want to watch it again. I've seen it maybe twice. I want to watch it again, and I'm gonna give my, as usual, I'm gonna give my honest opinion based off of my knowledge, training, and experience. All right, let's get into it.
Patrick Mumford was just getting home when cops rolled up saying he had a warrant, but they had the wrong man, and the stop escalated fast.
We probably need to talk. Get up, turn around, put your hands in the car. What I do? Man, what I do? Y'all ain't telling what I do, man. You got a warrant. I got a taser. Get out of the car. Move, Fox, move.
And did you catch that? He gave them his name, Patrick, but that didn't slow them down at all. The warrant was for Michael Clay, and instead of checking his ID first, they went straight to the taser threat. And when they finally checked his ID, they ended up looking unbelievably stupid.
Here's the deal, dude. How long I had a warrant? I don't know if you got a warrant, because you're not who I'm looking for, but here's the deal. When I asked you for ID because you look a lot like the person we're looking for, you give us ID. All you had to do is give me this.
But during that first contact, they never even asked Patrick for his ID.
Get your hands out now.
All right, so that was short. I don't even need to see that again. So, yo, I keep it real on here. Just because I was in law enforcement for a while, right? Just because I got a lot of respect for what they go through, the split decisions they have to make. I'm no longer in law enforcement for a variety of reasons. I call out BS, right? I'm not just sitting here. I'm not thin blue line. That ain't me. But again, I understand the job. I understand the complexities, and I understand how difficult it is to make split-second decisions when your life could be on the line. But I'm not the person. This ain't the channel where blue, back to blue. Nah. Right is right, wrong is wrong. If police is wrong, they're wrong, right? Rodney King, police is wrong, right? But black and white. You know what I'm saying? This situation, in my personal opinion, police officers, I think they're dead wrong in this situation, right? And I'm gonna also play devil's advocate. But here's why I feel like, in my opinion, the police officers are wrong. When you know of someone that has a warrant, again, this is my experience. For example, I worked in the city of Atlanta, Zone 4, Southwest Atlanta, for anybody who knows Atlanta, on Campbellton Road, right? Even if I roll up on the person I know 100% has a warrant, right? There are checks that has to take place after that, because what some people may not know, you could be in Maryland, right? And you can have a warrant out of Atlanta, out of Georgia, but it's non-extraditable, meaning that Georgia, they don't want you to, they're not going to pay essentially to have you brought down from another agency to the state. I know of a warrant such as like maybe theft, right? Theft for even like $500 or something like that. If you get a warrant for that, a state, Florida, Georgia, most states are not going to extradite you for that, right? So there's a bunch of confirmations you have to go through as a police officer, even if you know someone has a warrant, right? And you can't do stuff like this in this video. You can't make mistakes like that where you're essentially using excessive force on a totally innocent person and violating their Fourth Amendment rights. So in my opinion, as far as the officers are concerned, they're dead wrong. Just like the video said, when they rolled up on him, they just asked his name. They didn't even ask for ID. And all the people that I had warrants on, and even if I knew them personally, I still had to, because you gotta sometimes you gotta get social, you gotta verify social security number sometimes. You gotta identify some distinguished marks, tattoos. So there's a lot of things that goes into, there's a lot of things police officers have to do when someone has a warrant. And they just dead wrong in the situation. Dead wrong. They are wrong. Wrong. All this force was excessive. You know what I'm saying? They didn't ask for his ID. Now, playing devil's advocate, like I've said on this channel already, right? And I made a video about it already. It's actually the do's and don'ts of a traffic stop, but it relates here as well, right? Because again, and I said at the beginning of this video, police officer tell you to do something, you have to do it. That's not the time to argue. If you feel like your rights are being violated, get all the information of all the officers out there, right? And go get you an attorney. Go get you a Benjamin Crump, right? If you really feel like your rights were violated, like in this situation, his rights were violated. His rights were violated. I feel he could have a case, but I'm not an attorney. But they told him to get out the car, whatever. He got to do that, because I say you have to do that, because if not, you are, again, obstructing their investigation. If they tell you under arrest and you resist, you're resisting arrest. Now you're stacking on more charges. But at the end of the day, worst case scenario, this situation could turn fatal. That's not what I want. And any logical person who's ever worked in this job, wore the uniform, that's not what you want. You know what I'm saying? A lot of police officers, a lot are overzealous, scary. So you got to keep that in mind. You're going to lose that every time. You're going to lose that battle every time. You try to go up against a police officer on any kind of stop, you're going to lose, especially if you're dealing with a scary officer and or an officer who has never done anything in their life, right? Prior to me joining the Atlanta Police Department, I was in the Marine Corps for 9 years, right? That's the biggest thing to me, right? That's the biggest and most important thing, right? In my early life. Saying. So I was sort of accomplished, a big deal. In 2004, I went to Iraq. I did a lot while I was in the 9 years in the Marine Corps. You got some people getting into law enforcement right out of high school, or if they go to college, and they was getting bullied all their damn life. Now they're a cop, they got a badge, a gun. You will listen to what I gotta say. You gotta keep that in mind. That's not all police officers. I would say there's 95% great police officers, but then you got the other rest that are trash, and they're exactly what I described. So keep that in mind. The verdict on this one, police officers are dead wrong. My advice to the young man, or young men in a situation like this, do what they say. Do what they say to prevent force being used against you that could potentially hurt you and or unalive you. All right. Much love, Simple BK Clothing. See it right here. See it right here. And look at the products. Boom, 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 boom. Go check them out, all right? Thanks again for checking out my channel. Leave a comment. I said in another video too, I'm not responding to no disrespectful or ridiculous comments, right? Or if you just talking about something you don't know about completely, I'm not responding to that. I will respond to some, you know what I'm saying, some logical back and forth. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? But stay safe out there. Peace.